everyone. So I haven't been on for a while, but I've been thinking about other things that I could put on here that would be either inspiring or giving you some feedback. So today I'm covering a topic that personally affected me, as in a fail or not a fail. That is the question. So when we go through life and we think about all the things that we've experienced, some of them we consider a failure and others not. And that totally comes down to what your perspective is on the actual situation. So you can reframe that failure as a positive, as a growth experience, as something that pushed you forward and made you expand and created more experience for you. So therefore, is it a failure or is it not a failure? A situation that happened to me recently, just to share, is that I did my exit interview for my life coaching course, and as it came out, it was not yet competent to coach. So while I received this information, I was pretty gutted at the time because I thought I was ready to go forward. However, it was a situation where several things had happened prior to the exit interview. So exit interview basically is where you coach somebody who you don't know, and then you're assessed on how you coach that person. So I came through as not being competent to coach. And they were in two areas which, when I discussed with my friends, were two areas that they couldn't believe were things that I had not passed. One being nailing down what the goal was and being really clear about that. And the second one being open-ended questions, which, as they're aware, is something I ask them often. So what it taught me was to park my stuff and clear my mind, follow my intuition, because I didn't feel like I was ready to go through it, and I wasn't in a mental space to go through it. And your attitude going in, make sure that you are ready to go in and do whatever it is that you need to do. So what I had done is I had a super busy week. I had kids in the house while it was happening, and I already had a feeling that I wasn't actually ready to do it because of a feeling of not being good enough. And actually, that, while I know now that I am good enough, it certainly taught me to park my stuff when I'm coaching somebody else. So you need to shelve the things that are in your head and put your internal dialogue to the side so that you can sit in a space of non-judgment for your clients. So, and I had to take that time out too, personally, to grieve not passing. I Googled when you don't pass, and one of the key things that I gleaned from that was to grieve the not passing. Take that time to feel the grief of it. So not that I'd recommend this, but I sat on the couch and I Netflixed and chilled, and I watched an entire day of romantic comedies, and my son baked chocolate chip cookies and I ate those. And it's not something that I would recommend as being conducive to feeling well later on, but and I knew that I was doing it. I knew that that was my go-to for just hiding out from the world and taking that time to look after myself. So what I'm saying is, whatever you need to do to grieve that space where you feel like you've failed, take that time to do that. But don't stay there. Don't hang in that space of now not feeling like you're good enough. Take the lessons from the situation and move forward. Allow yourself that space, and then take the next steps to moving in the direction that you need to move in. Either, like for me, I needed to sit a second exit interview. And I struggled a lot with whether I told other people. There was, on one hand, it was, do I tell everybody that I failed and feel more of a failure? Am I then not being authentic and standing in my integrity to tell other people that I failed. However, at the same time, there was the desire not to perpetuate that feeling of failure as well. And by continuing to tell everybody, it made it a story. And so by not telling everybody, I kept that story in a specific space, and I was able to mourn for that loss and then move on. Whereas if I had been telling everybody, I would have had to keep telling everybody, and so the energy goes towards that. However, I would advise you talking to those people that you need to for the support that you need through that time. And you'll know who that is. I talk to my mum and I talk to my husband. My kids, if they see this will be the first time they hear that I didn't pass the first time. And it wasn't, it was about people not pitying me. And I'm sure they wouldn't have. However, it was just about being in that moment, doing what was the best thing for me, and then moving forward. And if you need to tell everybody, tell everybody. That may be your way of coping with it. And if not, don't. But make sure you take that time to care for yourself as well. Take the time to remind yourself that you've got this, and that you are okay, and that you are good enough, and that this is just a hiccup, that you can step forward from this. And the other thing I had to take into consideration was, how can I ask my clients to keep stepping up if I can't even do this for myself? How can I ask them to step forward after they feel like they've hit an obstacle or tripped over a hurdle if I can't even do that for myself? So I had to sit down and take that time to reflect on what it was that I needed to work on, and then do some practice. Thanks, Siona, for your help with that. My mentor was brilliant, and it was so beautiful to be able to coach her through a situation where it enabled me to feel more confident, and it solved a situation for her. And then the other thing was the gratitude for being able to grow from this in that professional and the personal level. And gratitude also that I wouldn't have met a new colleague if I had passed. I may have, in the greater scheme of things, ended up meeting this beautiful lady, but this sped it up. By me not passing the first time, I actually got to meet this beautiful, beautiful lady who totally leaned into her whole coaching session, and I learnt so much from her by going through that coaching session with her. And I'm so grateful for the connection with her now. So if those things hadn't happened, and I hadn't failed, all of these opportunities for growth and all these opportunities to meet new people wouldn't have happened either. So just a word out there to those who feel like they have to get it perfect. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to step forward and have a go. So if you are going into your exit interview, take what you can from this. And if you don't pass, it's okay. Just use it to grow. And know that you're not the only one. Because I felt like I was the only one. But you're not. So if this can help one person in their moment of not feeling like they've passed, that's worth everything to me. And it's worth posting this for. Anyway, have an awesome day, and I hope this helps you step forward.